Hello everyone, my name is Laura. This is my channel, Laura's Little Library, and welcome to today's video, which is a goodbye to fall vlog. So this is kind of an impromptu vlog. Basically what is happening is that today is the day before Thanksgiving here in the United States, and so I'm going to do all of my baking for Thanksgiving. I tend to do the cookies, sweet snacks that we eat after the meal when we are playing cards and things like that. So none of the really big desserts, and nothing for the meal, just all the little snacks. I was super excited and super inspired because the book I am reading right now actually is the final book that I'm hoping to read before the end of fall, and that is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice, and this is by Katie Catelli Cook. This book, I am only 10 chapters into it, but I was reading it last night and had a hard time putting it down. It is all of the cozy fall vibes. Like, you have your main character who is the daughter of a single mom, and it has a lot of Lorelai and Rory Gilmore vibes, just the way they talk to each other. The jokes they have are very similar to Rory and Lorelai. And they live in this quintessential fall town with lots of tourists and etc. and so forth. And her mom owns a local coffee shop, and there's a whole ton of baking as well as coffee. So they don't serve the pumpkin spice latte because the daughter here has lots of strong feelings about pumpkin spice lattes, like how they are not made with pumpkin, which is true. That anything that's pumpkin spice, including pumpkin puree, is actually made with other squash, not any real pumpkin. A lot of times the flavorings for the coffee are they have a ton of chemicals in them, and they're just not good for you, and so she doesn't really like that. And then all of a sudden Java Junction opens up across the street. This huge coffee chain opens up across the street, and they are known for their pumpkin spice lattes. And there is a fall baking festival with a competition in it, and it is just perfect. From the colors of the cover to the descriptions of baking and coffee in this book, it is absolutely perfect. So I'm really glad that I started this last night before I have to do all this baking for my family tomorrow. So it just lined up perfectly, and it put me in such a fall and baking mood that I thought I would vlog reading this book and doing the baking as kind of a final farewell to the fall season. Because for me, as soon as Thanksgiving is over, as soon as November is over, I do try and finish out the past couple of days in a fall mood, but as soon as December 1st hits, I will be filming my winter reset video, and I will be taking down all of my fall decorations, and I will be getting ready for winter and Christmas. So I'm trying to give fall one last hurrah before I go down that road. The other thing to know is that because this put me in such a baking mood, and it's not even Thanksgiving that I'm going to be doing a ton of baking for this weekend, but it's also my niece's first birthday, and I am making a couple of cakes for her first birthday party. So I'm doing a lot of baking this weekend, and so for the good old days, I decided to put on one of my old uniforms. I worked in a couple different bakeries. I was a pastry chef in one bakery for 2 years. I was a bread baker at a German bread bakery for half a year. But I also, during the summer and winter breaks, when I went back home, I worked for a bakery coffee shop, much like, bless you, gatito, much like the bakery coffee shop in this book. And I was just upfront barista because I was only going to be there for 1, 2, maybe 3 months at a time. And our uniform was this collared shirt and then jeans, and then having your hair up and a hat on. But in the winter, when it was freezing cold, they let us put sweaters or cardigan or whatever over top of the collared shirt, as long as the collar was there. So this was the sweater I bought literally to match this collar shirt for this job, and I used to put my hair in pigtails because of the length. I wanted to make sure all of it was up, but one ponytail, it was too short for that. And then this is my trusty baking hat that I've used at every bakery that hasn't come with the strict black circular hat, if you know what I mean. I do have that still, but I thought I would go with this just because I'm going for my old coffee shop uniform. So it's just gonna be a cozy fall day. I'm gonna get to baking and then I'll read this as it's like in the oven and cooling and things like that. But so I'm gonna sit down, write out all of my recipes, and yeah, let's start baking. Hi friends! So obviously all the baking is done for Thanksgiving tomorrow. My pumpkin spice latte is almost done. Sad, sad. I've got Donatella here with me as I am reading Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. So I am a little over halfway through this book. Looking at the cover, and just reading the description, I seriously thought this was going to be an adult romance, or at least like older characters. They are actually sophomores in high school, so they're 15. So it's not what I was expecting. I was a little disappointed when we got to chapter 2 and they were like still in high school, like it wasn't going to be so many years later. But once I got over that, this is good. The main character she bothers me a lot because she's just constantly hating on the love interest because his parents have that big coffee chain that moved in across the street, and she's constantly like picking fights with him, picking fights with her friends about him, and just, you know, being a bit of a brat. But I need to keep reminding myself that, yeah, she's 15, like she's not mature yet, you know? But it is kind of hard to keep reading from her when she brings up the same arguments and feelings of hurt and betrayal when she's not giving him a chance to talk, and like, you know? So the main character does irk me a little bit, but I'm trying to let that not be the case just because she is younger than I originally thought she was going to be. Other than that, the fall vibes are on point. Like I said earlier, Rory and Lorelai perfectly fall bakes at every twist and turn in this book, and I absolutely love it. It makes me want to keep baking. But no, I'm done for today. I'm not gonna bake anymore today. I'm very much enjoying this. I'm gonna keep reading this tonight. I might finish it, I might not, because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. If I don't finish this book tonight, I can finish it like tomorrow or the day after. And yeah, so I can give my thoughts and I can make sure I do finish the last fall book that I want to read this autumn season. So, oh, another thing I was gonna say about this is that I feel like the climax event that this book is leading up towards, it happened in the first half of the book. Like, there's a fall festival with a baking competition, and I thought that was gonna be like the finale, you know, the climax, what it builds up to is this fall festival that this town has. But no, I reached the halfway point and it's already done and over and we're moving on. So I'm having a harder time to see where this is going. Like, I'm wondering if the second half of the book is just more about the romance between the characters. Thank you. I'm wondering if the second half of the book is more about the romance between the characters rather than any sort of baking or like coffee shop themed climax, which I don't really necessarily like. It feels a little wonky in its pacing because of that. But yeah, so we'll see. I wish this would be a 4-star just because of atmosphere and aesthetics, but it is kind of starting to read like a 3-star, so we'll see. We'll see. Jury's still out. Okay, I read one more chapter. And we've got Ashy. We've got Ashy with us now. Hi, Baba. I know what's bothering me most about this main character. It's the fact that everything going on in this main character's life is the only thing her friends talk about. Like, when you have a friend group of 3, even if you have a lot of drama going on in your life, your other friends have stuff to talk about too. So the fact that all of their conversations are just dominated by the main character and everything, that's what's bugging me so much. That's what's killing me, because I need someone else to be like, oh, my sibling annoyed me, or my parent said this, or whatever. But just something else to make it feel less only about the main character and give these other side characters a backstory, flesh them out, give them a life. Their life does not just revolve around this main character. So that's what it is. I wish there were more from side characters just to be more well-rounded rather than everything only being about our main character, the coffee shop, and the chain, and her drama with the son of the people who own the chain. So that's what it is. What an end to a fabulous fall day. So I finished Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice, and I would give this a 3.5 star. Don't get me wrong, the atmosphere, the aesthetics, the baking, the coffee, oh, it was so rich, it was so good all there. I love the relationship between our main character Lucy and her mom. Like, all that was great. However, I wanted a little bit more from Lucy and, shoot, I just forgot his name, Jack. I wanted a little bit more from Lucy and Jack in the end in terms of their relationship. And once the second half of the plot got going, because the first half was kind of leading up to the fall festival and baking for the competition, and then the second half of it was a pumpkin spice latte competition, kind of, where she's trying to create the perfect pumpkin spice latte, which was super cozy to read about, but it was a little clunky where you have like a middle and then another climax. It just seemed a little weird to me personally, and I didn't really like all the communication that happened between Lucy and her friends, and just kind of her attitude and things like that just didn't really click for me, as well as just a few other little details where I was reading it and I was like, but it's kind of a coming of age story in a way, just with really cozy fall vibes. So I would definitely recommend this if you like high school contemporary baking theme. If you just need, like, I wouldn't necessarily read this for the characters, but the aesthetics, the vibes, the coziness, the creating a pumpkin spice latte, and creating a bunch of really cozy, delicious fall bakes. That is what really shone in this book, and it was beautiful. It was great. So I'm really happy I read it. A perfect way to finish out the fall autumn season. So yeah, so probably pick this up next year if you are a very seasonal reader like I am. But yeah, just an absolute wonderful way to end this out. So tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and then we have Friday and Saturday still in November, which are still fairly autumnal for me, but I have lots of plans on those days. So this is kind of my farewell to fall at the moment, and I cannot wait for winter. I mean, fall is my favorite season by far. Yeah, I guess. Anyway. Thank you all very much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you like bookish content like this, and hit the bell to be notified. I'm trying to post videos 1 or 2 a week. I have lots of video ideas. It's really just how busy I am with the end of school, but I will have videos going up, so hit the bell to be notified when they are up, and make sure you're subscribed in order to do that. Leave a comment below what were some of your favorite autumnal reads from the season, or what are you still trying to squeeze in by the end of the season yet. And I have other bookish social media linked down below, like my Instagram and my Goodreads, so you can follow me there and get more up to date on what I'm reading, especially what I've been reading recently. So definitely go give those a follow and a like and all that jazz. And thank you all again so much for watching, and until I see you in the next video, happy reading!